Welcome into our YouTube channel. We now have an interview with Camden Coleman, Richmond transfer, who will be joining the Dukes to play quarterback. I know fans are pretty stoked about this one, Jack, especially. Camden, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure.
We're excited to have you. I guess for starters, let's begin in the portal. You entered the portal after a great season with Richmond. What's the process like that eventually leads you to JMU?
It was insane. Mine might have been quite different from most. I was committed to a school, and they had a new offensive coordinator hire after I committed. So I had shut down recruitment with other schools out of respect for them, and I was all in. And then that happens, and the process got strung along, and ultimately I lost about 2 weeks of recruitment, and a lot of schools had to move on, and it sucked. In the beginning of this past week, Monday, Tuesday, I had no idea where I was going. I figured I was going to be back at the FCS level, and then um, one thing led to another, and I was able to get on the phone with Coach Kennedy, and we we made a visit happen very fast. Like I landed from one visit in Charlotte, and drove from Charlotte with my dad picked me up at the airport. We drove from Charlotte up here to Harrisonburg and got here at 7 p.m. on Saturday and knocked out the whole visit by midnight. We were in we were in Coach Kennedy's office at 11 p.m. Just talking X's and O's and watching film. So it was certainly a crazy process, but I'm very glad that it ended the way it did and led me to JMU. Wouldn't have it any other way, just keeping the faith in God's plan for me. It worked out.
Cam, I got to know who was instrumental in getting Coach Kennedy to pick up that phone and call you again after everything happened with that first commitment. Was it Landon Ellis? Was it Nick DeJaneiro? I mean, you got the whole Richmond squad back together. Who was key in kind of re-upping that discussion?
Both of them, including myself as well. Like I was reaching out, DMing, following on Twitter and stuff. And then Landon was, I mean, he was in this process super early with JMU, so he just kept texting like, "Hey, if you guys need one, my guy still doesn't have a home." And then Deej was texting throughout the whole time like, "Hey, if Cam goes there, who knows? Like, what could happen?" And just he was like, these respect the mess out of him, and he puts a lot of his success in attributes it to me. So I'm very appreciative of that, and I mean vice versa as well. So he was really instrumental as that into that process as well. So yeah, the two of them were definitely just shooting them texts the whole time like, "Hey, get out our guy," and it worked out.
You seem like you've got a super positive attitude about it, but I'm curious what happened when you were committed, and then I assume you're just sort of maybe chilling over the winter break or whatever and feeling relaxed, and then when it sort of unfolds the way it does, what's your immediate reaction when you're like, oh, I got to get recruited by some other schools again?
Yeah, no, it was like highs and lows and highs and lows. I mean, Christmas I thought all was good. It's hey, let's get some new gear for Christmas and get the family hooked up and everything. And then yeah, all that happened, and I'd be lying if I say I wasn't in a bit of a low place. It was very stressful, and just I mean, my mom, she's stressed out at work. She couldn't focus on anything with the uncertainty of my life, and my dad as well. But like I said, everything worked out. Just me keeping faith. That was the big thing. Just keeping faith, and that's really what got us through that whole process.
Yeah, Cam, kind of now going back a little bit in the transfer portal, but your decision to enter the transfer portal, you finished this great season with Richmond. You guys win the CAA for the second year in a row. Seemed like, the trajectory was going up for the Spiders. What was the decision to enter the transfer portal in the first place?
So, I mean, first off, let me say it was extremely hard decision. I love that place to death. Coach Jacob Huseman, the quarterback coach, we both came in at the same time and we grew a lot together. And I loved playing for him. I was talking to him a lot throughout this process just for advice and keeping in touch with him. But like I said, it was hard to say goodbye. Also, have an amazing church in Richmond. I met my girlfriend through the church. Have great Bible study there. Um, so yeah, I love the place, but with with two successful seasons, and I didn't get to use my red shirt, so I knew grad transferring wasn't going to be an option from there. And ultimately, I wanted to play at a higher level because in goal is the NFL. That's always been the case for me. And to have a successful career in the NFL and just be able to go make a name for myself. And I've been gambling on myself since high school, or yeah, middle school really. I transferred to go transferred counties to go to a different high school, gambled on myself there, and then out of high school didn't have too much with the way COVID played out and having to do a junior spring season. Um, and went to Myrtle Beach Collegiate from there. Um, and I kind of took it with a JUCO mentality. If I can't make it there, I can't make it anywhere. And things worked out from there, and I was able to get Richmond. Is kind of the same deal. I wanted to gamble on myself, make that jump. If I stayed another year at Richmond, it became, do I just stick out this last year and get a Richmond degree, um, and all of that. So it felt like a good time to do it. And that's kind of what led to it. Just gambling on myself one more time. Yes, sir.
Awesome. I know the Dukes also brought in Matthew Sluka, who JMU fans know his connection to Holy Cross and Bob Chesney. You've been in quarterback competitions before at Richmond and done a nice
Yes,
job
sir.
coming out of those. What did you learn from those that you can take into this upcoming competition?
I mean, first off, got to be a leader of the team. That's a big deal at quarterback, especially just being the ultimate service leader. Like taking guys out to eat, picking them up if they need a ride, just all sorts of things like that. Really, really getting in touch with the team, and then it's really sticking to yourself, just putting in the extra work. And it's never like clashing heads deal. I mean, we're one team. We want the success of the Dukes. So if I could help him a little bit, I'm gonna help him. If he could help me a little bit, I'm gonna ask for help. Just being one and the same. Success of the Dukes is most important, and doing whatever it takes to make that happen. So that's kind of what I've taken from it. And then obviously keeping faith. That's a big one as well. Just leaning on my firm foundation.
I got to know as you're going through the process, you've been in the quarterback competitions with Kyle Wickersham at Richmond, and then coming now to JMU. Seems like there's going to be quarterback competitions for your next two seasons with JMU. Did you kind of want to go towards the competition, or kind of what's the mindset with that? Because I know so many quarterbacks think of it in different ways.
Um, Yeah, I mean, a lot of places or a lot of guys maybe they wanted to go somewhere that they knew they were going to get the spot, but like I said, never always gambled on myself. Never had anything handed to me. I believe I could play at this level, and if it takes competition to do that, then so be it. Um, and I mean, I'm all about it. I had competition in Myrtle Beach Prep. I had competition when I got to high school. Like you there should be competition. If coaches are handing you the job, then maybe that's probably not the right coaching staff that you should be playing for. And that just iron sharpens iron too. Like when people are constantly pushing each other, it just leads to greatness on both sides. And yeah, I mean, I wanted competition. I want it to be earned. I don't want anything handed to me. That's not the way to go about things. So yes, sir.
Cam, I got to jump in real quick, Bennett.
You're
You
good.
keep mentioning competition, things of that sort. I think you played against Alonzo Barnett in competition in high school, right?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
so
sir.
in those competitions, you got the head to head. Who was coming out victorious in those competitions?
So we only played against each other in a scrimmage. When I played his school my sophomore year, it was Chris Zellis at the time. He was Hampton's quarterback this past year, just committed to Stony Brook out the portal. Um, but we did win the scrimmage. Um, but I mean, Alonzo is a heck of a quarterback. I mean, he does it very well. We played on the same 7-on-7 team at different times. He was there a year before I got there. Um, but yeah, he's a heck of a quarterback, and I wish nothing but success for him and great speedy recovery with his injury.
Yeah, you've got a lot of connections on the roster, it seems, especially on
Yes,
offense.
sir.
What's it like to go into the competition, I guess, knowing that two of your favorite receiver targets are also coming with you. And I guess how did you build up that chemistry? Because last year at Richmond, it seemed like anytime you threw to Nick or Landon, it was a completion for a positive gain.
Yes, sir. I mean, first off, it's an awesome feeling. I was just talking yesterday with Landon. It was like I couldn't have imagined this being the outcome of the portal whenever we first hopped in. Like, it was just crazy the way things worked out. But when I early enrolled to Richmond and I got there by myself. I was the only early enrollee, and I think there was one other transfer who ended up quitting. But D's, I actually lifted with him in the mornings, and then we went straight from lift to Spanish class together. And then after Spanish was breakfast and stuff. So I would be with him throughout the entirety of my mornings every single day. That first spring. And then when Landon got there, I mean, we just clicked right away. We were both very serious about ball, just football minded and constantly wanting to get better. Um, and we just bonded through that. And then this past year, Landon and I were roommates. Um, so just being able to live with him and spend all of our time together, um, just through those times, you do build bonds, and just knowing somebody off the field just makes it that much better on the field. And I mean, this is all off the field stuff. We put in so many hours together on the field, Landon, Nick, and I, like just getting after it. So yeah, I mean, having that connection with them already, and I mean, I can't wait to get a connection with the other guys, um, receiver wise, tight end wise, running back wise, and then of course the O line. They're the most important. Gotta show them the most love. Excited to get to meet them. That's probably something I've been looking forward to. I got here a day early and stayed in a hotel before moving yesterday just because I couldn't wait. I was itching at home. Like I wanted to be here. I want to meet guys. I can't wait for tomorrow, the team meeting when everybody's back. Um, yeah, I'm itching. Like I'm ready. I'm excited.
This might be an in the weeds question here, but with the other Richmond transfers, Trainer over, I think at Wisconsin now, Parker Mitchell, ZPS, you think they're sitting back a little bit, like, man, should have gone to JMU. We could have just got the whole band back together.
I was Parker was big in the recruitment with JMU, and Landon and I were giving him crap for not coming. We wanted him here with us. I wish DPS came here with us. Of course, he's a heck of a running back. Love that dude to death. He's very much about ball as well. Um, Trainer, gosh, he's one of a kind. Very hard headed. He's probably the most football minded. He just loves ball. He eats, sleeps, breathes ball, and that's Landon and I are great friends with him. And just talking to him through the whole deal. I'm so happy that he ended up at Wisconsin. He's going to go up there and ball. And then other guys too. Trey Tomlinson went to Louisiana, so we actually played them this year. Thinking about him going up against Landon and Dees, and that's going after him. After the Ohio State Texas game when Quinn Ewers got strip sacked by his old roommate. I was Trey's roommate the year before last year. So he was hitting me up during that, like, oh, I'm doing it to you, man. You got no idea, blah blah blah. And so I mean it's awesome. It's crazy how much of us ended up in the Sun Belt. I think five or six of us did. So just getting able to play at the same level and meet them on the field, it's gonna be awesome.
That's awesome. You talked about the NFL dream. Your tape and your PFF stats seems like you can make every throw at every level. And I think there's a clip on your highlights where you had a goal line run against Delaware and just ran over a defender into the end zone. What are
Yes,
the
sir.
strength what are the strengths of your game and where are you still looking to grow?
Um, Definitely looking to grow mechanically. There's always room for improvement. Josh Allen, for example, his first 2 years to where he's at now, he's just grown so much mechanically. I want to get more consistent with my mechanics, just clean them up, and there's certain areas that I expect perfection out of myself that I just want to nitpick and just get perfect with. Um, and then obviously there's so much room to grow mentally. Um, Like I feel like I'm at a great place mentally, but I still know that there's so much more. Like getting to the Tom Brady, Peyton Manning level, just constantly looking to grow every single day in every aspect. Um, Things I do well, I think I lead well. I think I'm able to get the ball in playmakers' hands. I think I'm able to help the team know what they're doing, make sure everybody's confident in themselves and bringing them together. And then just letting everybody else make me look good.
I love it. I got to ask the softball question, of course, the one that always comes in these interviews. Why JMU? Why'd you end up at JMU? What was the decision process and kind of how did you? I know you kind of down to a few of them at the end. Why JMU?
I mean, first off, starting with the coaches, just I didn't get to talk to much other coaches than Coach Chesney and Coach Kennedy, but I mean, talking to them, I mean, they're so awesome. Like I couldn't I there were guys that once I got done talking to them, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to play for these guys. Like I have no question. There's no doubt in my mind that these are coaches that I want to play for that are going to help me develop. I'm going to help them grow to be better coaches. Just all together, just be able to work together. Um, and then, I mean, I haven't been watching from far. I've been in Richmond. Like I've been able to see the just James Madison going, just continually going up, even with the new coaching staff, with Coach Chesney's staff, and just the culture that they had, especially this past year under Coach Chesney. Just watching outside in is something that you want to be a part of. So those were two big selling points. And then I mean, obviously it's a great school. A lot of great fans. We went to the basketball game yesterday, and it was rowdy, and students aren't even here yet. So it's like just I mean, it's awesome. Something that you're compelled to join. Like you want to be a part of. So that's why.
Do you have an NFL guy you model your game after or like to watch? It sounds like you've studied some, especially mentioning Josh Allen's development, but does anybody sort of stick out to you in terms of wanting to do what they do?
So mechanically, I feel like a lot of quarterbacks say this guy is Aaron Rodgers, especially back at the beginning of his career. I mean, it's beautiful watching him play. And then guys in the league right now, I like Josh Allen a lot. I like Justin Herbert, CJ Stroud too. They do a lot of things mechanically that are very clean, and just kind of watching everybody nitpicking things you want to take away, and of course seeing how they command offenses, and yeah, and then of course I mean Tom Brady, just going back and watching him is crazy. I hated him while he played. I think everybody did, but going back and watching, it's just you appreciate it so much more. And just seeing the things that he did, like his pocket presence, for example. Like he's not an athletic guy at all, but his pocket presence was insane, and just how he was so comfortable there and able to move around and make guys miss. So definitely a lot of guys. Aaron Rodgers definitely at the forefront of that list. But yeah.
That, that's awesome. I got to know 6'3", 220 is what Richmond listed you last year. Kind of the similar body type as Matthew Sluka and kind of getting in the weeds a little bit. JMU used a interesting running game with their quarterback, specifically in the bowl game with JC Evans. How do you expect to kind of fit into the JMU offense whenever you get your chance as quarterback one? Do you think you're going to be more of that pocket passer within that Dean Kennedy offense or kind of that dual threat where you will be asked to run kind of between the tackles a little bit?
I'm gonna do whatever Coach Kennedy asked me to do, whatever it takes to get on the field, whatever is gonna help this team win. I try to be as versatile as I can to make sure I could be on the field on the running plays and I could be on the field on the passing plays. I want to be able to do everything. Like this past year at Richmond, for example, my freshman year, I wasn't that great of a runner. A lot of guys like to call me slow. Uh, but I really took that as a challenge this offseason was getting faster, getting more comfortable running the ball. And I was able to do that this year. And so it's just doing whatever it takes. And talking to Coach Kennedy, he wants to give success to the quarterback, just make it as easy for him, whoever it is. If you're a running quarterback, he's going to make the game where you run a bit more. If you're a passing quarterback, he's going to let you pass a bit more. He wants you to succeed and ultimately the Dukes to win. So I think we'll be able to work together great in that aspects. And yeah, I'm willing to do whatever.
Not a lot of sliding on your tape. It seems like you're willing to run into contact. Is that something that has come naturally to you, or is that something you had to develop over the years?
Um, I'd say a bit in between. I've never been scared of contact. I need to get better at sliding. There's no question in that. Um, I actually got an injury my senior year of high school playing against James Pierce, the D end at Tennessee,
Yeah.
and he messed me up. And that was my. It was on the sideline, like I should have stepped out of bounds, and that was my first like eye opener. Like, okay, I need to learn how to get down. So I have slid a little bit. There's been situations where it's been hard to slide and just kind of find a way to protect yourself. And I will say it's not always sliding. Like you want to be able to run low. That's been a big talk of the NFL this year. I think the Trevor Lawrence versus the Texans, that big hit on him. Should he have slid sooner? Yes. Was he running for the first down? Yes. So you understand that. Was it hard on did the defender make a bad hit? Yes. But it's like there's levels to it. You got to be able to protect yourself, and sliding isn't always the answer. Sometimes it is running low and diving head first. Um so yeah, definitely something I want to obviously always improve at, just finding ways to protect myself. Um being being mindful of that. The best thing I could do is be available. So that's probably the most important thing to that.
Yeah,
That's
trying to
awesome.
truck James Pierce is bold. That's a
Yeah.
Yeah, but what 5-star kid in high school? I imagine he was
Yeah.
massive too. That must have
Oh,
been
he
fun.
was. In the game was hyped up. I think they were fifth in the nation at the time. I'll say this, it was at the very beginning of the game. If that didn't happen, I was able to finish the game, we would have won. Like I have no question. Under Armour, under the radar was there. Like it was, we were rolling. And yeah, I don't speak on it anymore. It sucks to think about, but no, I had no fear in him, in my heart.
Yeah, I would have. I think I would have ran the other way if I saw Pierce coming down at me. I would. I run away from contact. That's why I'm on this side of the mic. But Bennett, any other questions?
last one. We usually ask like wide receivers and corners this, but are you a trash talker or a silent assassin type? We get a lot of receivers who you can tell they're trash talkers.
Yeah, no, I'm more a silent assassin. Let the game talk. I'll throw in the positive jabs every now and then, like that was a good hit, this and that. But if they are being disrespectful, I will throw little mean jabs there now and again. But I mean, the ultimate deal is just I want to be able to play in a way that people look at me and know that I'm a God loving man, that I serve Christ, and I want to be able to show that through my play. And that's something I pray about before every game. Just being able to do that, and with that, you don't talk trash talk as much. You're a bit more positive, but I think it makes me a lot more confident and in myself, and just knowing that I'm leaning on Him and playing in a way that uh, shows good by Him. So.
Awesome. Well, perfect way to wrap it up, Cam. Thank you so much for your time. Good luck. This coming August, this coming fall camp. I guess spring ball too. You're moving into. So good luck with all the
Yes, sir.
offseason prep, getting ready for 2025.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you guys.